In this short video, I'm going to review some of the key signs that you are in an unhealthy or even toxic relationship. This can be with anyone, a partner or spouse, a coworker, or even a family member. Watch until the end, and I'll also give you some advice on how to end this type of relationship. I'm Rosanna Reverso, life, wellness, and high conflict divorce coach. I help people strategize ways to overcome the obstacles in their life. For some, that may be a toxic relationship. And as I already mentioned, in this video, I'm going to help you determine if what you're dealing with is just a simple difference of opinion or personality that can be easily sorted out, or if you are really dealing with a toxic person, an unhealthy relationship that you seriously need to consider ending. So here are 6 signs that I believe define a toxic person or unhealthy relationship. Number 1, this person feels controlling. They require that you seek their permission for things that seem silly or insignificant to you, or maybe seem like a personal decision, like what food you should eat or what job you should take. The person is demanding their way in all matters, and when they don't get their way, it results in a major argument. Sign number 2, you feel isolated or even imprisoned. This person makes you feel guilty about spending time with other family or friends. They might even try to convince you that they're not good for you. They may even go as far as forbidding you to spend any time with them. Your feelings of isolation may also come from the fact that this person makes you feel guilty about doing activities that you enjoy, perhaps hobbies. This person makes you feel that any free time you have should be spent with them. Sign number 2, this person makes you feel isolated or even imprisoned. This person makes you feel guilty for spending time with others. They may even try to convince you that these people aren't good for you. They may even forbid you from seeing individuals that are important to you, like friends or family. Another reason for feeling isolated is that this person may make you feel guilty for spending time doing activities that you love, perhaps hobbies. They make you believe that all the free time that you have should be spent with them. Sign number 3, this person blames you often for things gone wrong and harbors resentment. They seem to find a way to make everything your fault without ever taking real responsibility for their own actions. They bring up past problems from several years ago that you thought were resolved with the same amount of intense emotion, if not even more. Sign number 4, this person makes you feel like you are not enough, like you are not good enough. They treat you like a child or like a student that they're trying to teach or mold just the way they want you. Now, this is likely an unhealthy relationship. Don't get me wrong. Personal growth is great. And if that motivation to change is coming from you, then that's wonderful. But if you are feeling forced, it probably isn't a good thing. Again, there are wonderful, supportive people out there that try to motivate or inspire us when we are down, when we are in some sort of funk. That's a whole other story. That is likely a person who truly does love you and is there to support you. What I'm talking about is when you feel that you are being forced to become someone that you are not, that you have no real desire to be, that feels completely fake or not true, not authentic to who you are. And if that's how you're feeling with this person, again, this is likely an unhealthy relationship. Sign number 5, this person makes you doubt yourself, and even worse, could make you feel mentally unstable. Gaslighting. Now, this is a word you probably have heard. It's become a little more mainstream in the last few years. And if you don't know what gaslighting is, it is emotional manipulation, emotional abuse. And more specifically, it is the denying of someone else's reality. So, for example, the toxic person in your life could respond to you saying that you feel upset or hurt about something or a situation with, "Why are you so sensitive?" Or "You have no right to feel that way." Or they might even completely deny anything that you are saying things like, "That's not what happened," or "I never said that," or "You're crazy," even. So the consistent denial of your reality over time can have a serious impact on your mental health. It is only natural in that situation to start questioning your own sanity. And if it happens long enough, there will likely be a need for some clinical intervention. Sign number 6. This person makes you feel negative physical symptoms. I'm talking about nervous stomach, shaky hands, sweaty palms, heart palpitations, insomnia. Now, the mind can sometimes fool us, but the body never lies. And if you feel these physical symptoms in the presence of this other person, and if those symptoms decline, if you notice that they decline when you're not around this other person, when you're around other individuals, then you need to listen to those signs. Your body is likely telling you that this relationship, that this person isn't good for you, isn't healthy for you. Now, if you are feeling any of these physical symptoms, if you can relate to this sign, I am begging you to please tell your family doctor. Find yourself some support, whether it be a clinical therapist, a psychologist, a social worker, or a life coach to help you get through this challenge. You definitely want to start recovering and getting back to your former self before you're not able to function anymore. You're not able to be the person you need to be for your work, for your job, and for the family that needs you. So, those are the 6 signs that I believe define a toxic person in a relationship. Now, before I go, I did promise at the top of this video that I'd give you some pieces of advice on how to end this type of relationship. First off, you need to decide if this is even something you are willing to do. So this toxic person in your life, they may be a parent, of yours, and they may be a child, an adult child of yours. And because of that, you were just unwilling to walk away from these relationships for many reasons, maybe even just because of how it could affect the relationship that you have with other family members that are close to these people and involved. If this toxic person is a partner or a spouse, you need to consider whether or not you can walk away financially, whether you could afford to leave this relationship now or ever. And also, you need to consider how it will impact any children that you may have together. So if after all of those considerations, you are certain that this is a relationship that you should be ending, then here are some tips that I can give you. Just an important disclaimer here. If the toxic person in your life is someone who has shown to be physically aggressive, to be physically violent, then the pieces of advice I'm about to share are not for you. in your case, you really should be seeking the assistance from domestic violence resources and perhaps even law enforcement. Now, for those of you who do not suspect physical harm in ending the relationship, here are some tips I can provide. 1, don't give this person a heads up that you are ending the relationship, especially if this is a partner, a common law partner, or a spouse. And I say that because the toxic personalities will typically try to cause fear in you for doing so, saying things like you're going to fail, that you won't survive without them. They'll definitely try to intimidate you, and you really just don't want to give them an opportunity for you to change your mind. So instead, get yourself organized. Focus on all the steps you need to take to end the marriage or end the relationship. So if you have any important documents with this other person, with this toxic person, I suggest you make copies of them before you end the relationship. And if it is a marriage where you are living in the same home, I highly recommend that you do not take anything out of the home that your spouse can legally charge you for taking. I recommend that you speak to a family law lawyer for advice on this topic. Another tip is don't be surprised. Expect that if in a love romantic relationship, you're going to be love bombed or hoovered, like a Hoover vacuum, sucked back in. The toxic person will likely put on their mask of charm and try to convince you to come back to them, all with false promises that will never last for the long run. So please do not fall for that. Expect rage. That is another suggestion for you. Put in your mind that there is going to be a horrible reaction, because if you're prepared for that, the shock of it all won't throw you off your game. Even expect that they will put on a smear campaign. They might post nasty things about you on social media or try to convince people who you are close to, coworkers, employers, family, friends, that you are the bad one and that they are the good one, that they are the victim in this situation. So be prepared for that. Now, if you are pursuing a divorce, if this is a marriage and you are pursuing a divorce, I will say that more times than not, a mediation, an easy settlement will not be the route that you can take. And that is because it's hard to reason with unreasonable people. So again, I would highly suggest that you seek the assistance of a divorce coach and of a family law lawyer who specializes in high conflict personalities and going up against these toxic individuals, so that you can have the best chance at getting a fair deal in the situation. So for more resources on how to recognize a toxic relationship and how to end a toxic relationship, please visit my websites, rosanareverso.com and reinventthedress.com. I'll include these links in the description below. Until next time, remember, everyone deserves an authentic life, a life filled with peace and joy. You are stronger than you think. You are enough.